So right now you're talking about, all right, two different parts of a drill. So the first part of the drill I got down here, which if you look over to the left side of my screen, what it says is you've got basically your mirror drill, you've got your trail drill, which are both going on over here. So I'm all about efficiency. I'm all about basically letting the players, empowering the players to kind of run their own, but also developing some type of camaraderie between them, some type of accountability between those players, because at the end of the day, I don't want this unit to be mine. What I want is I want this unit to be their unit. I want them to take ownership of it. I want them to run with it. I want them to basically create, memories out of these moments that we have. So you're talking about all these different things that we're trying to get accomplished in short periods of time. So we don't have a lot of time to do all these things. So this would be something I'd hang up in the locker room before they come out to practice. So when they know first special teams group, I'll designate either offensive players or defensive players over here. And I've always got my cameras just so I know where they are so that I can be on point with where or how I'm set up. But half my players are going to be winning at the line of scrimmage. Half my players are going to be winning at the tail end, and this is what our focus is going to be today. So as we go through and we watch this drill, okay, so the first film I'm going to pull up is literally the exact same slide that you just saw back there. So I'm the returner. And when you look at the spacing, you see guys in that perfect trail position. Basically, you're a step behind. If they were to reach out, they could touch the hip of the cover player they're trying to defend against. So as we go through this, you're going to see I'm the returner. I'm simply there to give that cover player that reaction to where they break down and try and turn the corner. So all we're trying to do is we're in perfect position. We're going to grab that. We're going to basically reach over their bicep. We're going to grab their front number. So we want to grab that near number. All right. And then we're going to grab and we're going to wrap and basically try and get between you. You're going to get between you and the ball carrier. So that's our ultimate goal. Boom. Get between the ball carrier, and we'll continue to evolve. We'll continue to adapt. But again, this is day one, and the greatest thing that we're trying to teach them are those three different levels. One level where I'm in perfect position, second level where I'm slightly behind, third level where I'm literally stacked behind, and I have to make a decision on going left or right based off what return we're running. So again, just watching it, and again, you see guys kind of partnered up, and you see the reaction based off the returner just of when they need to break down. Okay. So we're constantly getting reps. We're going fast. I've got basically groups of two. So every time they just flip. If you're stuck in a group of three, then you're not going to get as many reps as somebody that basically went out of their way to try and find a partner before this thing started. All right. So now that second aspect of it. So when you look at their spacing now, you see number 3, he's a good yard behind. Now if he reaches out, he's not going to be able to touch it. So now this is almost like the most common position they're going to end up getting into. It's that back block, that pull off a clip. It's where if I was really to hit him, I'm hitting him in the back number. So what I got to do is I got to find a way to use my body, all right, to get in the way, to create a path for that returner who's going vertical. So as you watch number 3, boom, he's going to try and get in the way, not block him with his front, but he's going to kind of try and take his hip and his shoulder and reach across with his arm to just basically, it's like boxing out in basketball, but really it's going to be at full speed. So there's some adjustments that got to be made. So you'll see guys will fly by. Some will actually make contact. This is a good contact. Some guys will just fly by and not make contact. Again, I film everything so that I can identify those guys that are doing it right, as well as those guys that are doing it wrong, because I want a lot of the guys that are doing it right. And if those guys are backup players or those guys are younger guys, I'm going to thrive with those because they're going to be the hungriest. They're going to be the freshest. And you're never going to have to worry about them, coming off the field exhausted and going right back on for special teams. So identify those players that want to do it right, that can do it right, but also identify the players that don't do it right, that can't do it right, because we're going to show them on the board in the meeting. So we're going to have that slide up. We're going to talk about it. We're going to show them the clip, and then we're going to take it to the field. And the expectation is there is no more explanation. You guys need to figure it out, and you need to figure it out quickly. So we're empowering them to have that sense of urgency so that they can continue to build as players, and also to build as a unit, because what I say is worthless. I'm not on the field with them. But what they say to each other and how they make the corrections themselves, that's what's important. That's how you become successful. That's how these guys build and they train. But also you see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. So that's 12 players. All right. At one time, 6 getting the rep, 6 working the rep. All right. But you see great form here. All right. You see great form here. You see other guys that kind of, they're getting in the way, but you want more of that hip and more of that back. All right. But again, am I creating a scene for that returner to run into? So we're taking their thought process, and what we're doing is we're creating tools for them to use. Oh, I'm right by his hip. Well, then I need to grab and wrap. Oh, I'm a step behind. I need to pull off a clip. Boom. So you see, that's a good rep right there, and we'll stress them and we'll continue to work them. All right. But you see number 24 right here does a great job of just getting in his way as he turns and throwing his backs to avoid that penalty. Okay. So now you see the spacing. Now you are literally right behind, all right, that player. Let's say this is something that doesn't happen all the time. But when they outkick their coverage and you are in that spacing where you are right behind them, usually, depending on the returner I have, if you've got a guy that hits a vertical, I'm a middle return guy. If I got a guy that does better getting to the sideline and turning the corner, which is what the player you're going to see when we start watching the game film did, that's how I build. You know what I mean? I want to find out what he does best, and I'm gonna basically build the scheme around him. So I'm not going to ever fit a player into the scheme. I'm going to build a scheme around the players. We have a base, but that base is always adaptable. That base is always evolving. All right. But the rules and the techniques, they're literally only going to have 3. So you got to block them at the line of scrimmage. Then you got to block them when they catch the ball. Other than that, it's just changing who blocks who. So you're going to see our players take off. They're trying to basically beat them to a point. This guy's going to go where the returner is. We're going where the returner is going. All right. We're going to try and cut them off, and we're going to pull off one of our blocks. All right. At that point, so that the returner now has a little bit of an edge to turn the corner. So it gives us a little bit of an advantage as a return team, because I know which way this guy's supposed to go. So if we've got a right return call, I know right now this guy's going to start going this way. So as a return player, I want to start taking that angle. The main reason is because look at it right now. Now everyone is no longer stacked behind their player that they were chasing. All right. So we've got them out of that position where they're chasing that guy. If he gets too far away, he'll turn around and find somebody else to block. But what we don't want is him running right behind him slowing down to make the play, and us running into him and giving him another 15 yards, as well as, the ball spotted right there. So we want to do a great job of cutting them off, using our blocks, using our protection, using the things that we have in our toolbox to really help us turn the corner, get an edge, and get downfield. Don't go where they are, go where they're going to be. All right. Anticipate.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with allaccesscoaching.com. I really hope this video helps make you a better coach. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below so we can let you know when new content becomes available, because we're all about coaches helping coaches. And remember, coach, better today, never as good as tomorrow.